Hey techies, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 essential elements you need to write a cozy mystery. I'm Jane Kalmus and this is Fiction Technician. So what is a cozy mystery? Well, the broadest definition I can think of is that a cozy mystery is a light-hearted mystery focused on a domestic crime. It's going to have a restricted suspect pool, 6 or 7 people who all know each other. They won't be dealing with sweeping social or political issues. They will be dealing with the intimate issues of human relationships, and one of them will be driven to murder. Many of Agatha Christie's mysteries were early cozies, and the genre is alive and kicking today. You can also find cozies on TV. The most iconic TV show I can think of that is a cozy is Murder, She Wrote. Monk and Psych are also cozies, and Miss Fisher's Mysteries is a cozy TV series based on a cozy novel series. The audience for cozies is predominantly female, and they are enthusiastic and insatiable. They're used to consuming their cozies in series form, which means that if you're interested in writing cozy, you should think about developing some characters you're willing to hang out with for a few books, especially if you want your cozy traditionally published. If you publish a cozy traditionally, the next book the publisher is going to want from you is going to be that sequel, no matter what else you may be itching to write. There are 5 essential conventions to the cozy mystery novel. I'm going to take a moment here and emphasize that these are conventions, not rules. There are best-selling cozy series that break from each of the things I'm about to tell you here. So I will lay out the conventions and you will decide where you need to depart from them to tell the story the way you want to tell it. The first thing you're going to need for your cozy mystery is a sleuth. She can belong to almost any profession, except, usually, law enforcement. The standard cozy sleuth is an amateur. And I call her she because, just like the readership, they are predominantly female. So, if she's an amateur, why is she investigating a murder? Well, she's going to need some reason, but it doesn't have to be large. The central conceit of cozies, the premise that we've all bought into, is that amateurs solve murders. So while you will need to justify her decision to get involved in this investigation, you don't have to justify it too much. Your readers just need some little peg to hang their suspension of disbelief on. A common reason that cozy sleuths will get involved is to protect somebody who has been accused of the crime, perhaps themselves. Another common reason is that law enforcement is inept or absent for some reason. Or perhaps your sleuth just has special skills or information that make her an ideal investigator. The second essential element of cozies is a low level of violence. Cozies are called cozies because they're cozy. You can curl up in a chair with a mug of hot chocolate and a blanket and your book and enjoy all the fun aspects of a murder mystery, the detection, deception, and puzzles, without having to be emotionally disturbed by it. There's going to be a murder, but it's not going to be that bad. The violence will generally not take place in scene, and it won't be too graphic. Also, the victim will frequently be an unlikable character, somebody who we don't have to feel too bad for. They may be generally badly behaved, like Sir William McCordle in Gosford Park.
Brought you some coffee.
If I wanted coffee, I'd have rung for it.
Or they may have a deep, dark secret for which many people justifiably hate them, like Sir William McCordle in Gosford Park. They also won't be likely to have too many characteristics that bring about our pity. They're not going to have dependents who will be bereft without them. They won't be too young, and children are right out. If you are writing a murder mystery with a murdered child in it, well then, it's not a cozy, or at the very least, it is a highly non-traditional cozy. And you need to think about a way to communicate that to potential readers so they know what they're getting. We are going to talk about how to communicate about the various aspects of your mystery to potential readers in my upcoming video, how to brand your cozy mystery. So if that's the kind of content that you don't want to miss, be sure to hit the red subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. The next essential element of cozies is romance. Not all cozies have a romance, but an awful lot of them do. Just like the violence in cozies, the romance is soft-core, meaning that the characters can get up to whatever they want, but you are unlikely to need to type the names of any erogenous zones below about here. Just like in any story that is based on romance, the characters in a cozy, the love interest and the sleuth, are likely to start out in conflict, but by the end of the book, they will have achieved some sort of resolution. By the end of book one, it's possible that they will have only achieved a mutual respect, because another aspect of cozy romance is slow burn, meaning that the characters may take 3, 4, or more books to finally resolve their relationship. This is not my favorite aspect of cozies. I like it when the characters get in a clinch a little bit faster, but there's no denying that it is a common aspect of the genre. When you're designing a love interest for your cozy sleuth, there are two things to keep in mind: points of conflict with the sleuth and opportunities for your love interest to provide her with skills or access that she might otherwise lack. For this reason, a lot of love interests in cozy mysteries are law enforcement officers. This gives them a point of conflict with the sleuth because they don't understand why she's investigating this dangerous murder, and it gives them the opportunity to pass along a little information to her, maybe deliberately or possibly by accident. They can talk about how the murder is regarded by the police department and maybe pass on a little forensic information. Another essential element of cozies is humor. All right, this is probably the least requisite of the buttons I'm asking you to push, but it's also one of the most defining characteristics of the genre. And what I mean by that is that if we have a Venn diagram of all mysteries, you've got your cozies, your police procedurals, your horrors, your psychological thrillers. Well, the circle for mysteries that have a lot of humor in them is going to go right here, squarely in the middle of the cozy quadrant. There are still plenty of cozies that fall outside of that circle, but if you're writing a mystery with a whole lot of humor, chances are it's a cozy. Not to say that humor never has any role in other mysteries, it's just not a defining element for them. The most common kind of humor you're going to see in cozies is character-driven humor, where the laughs flow naturally from the characters' perspectives and attitudes. For example, in Monk, much of the humor was driven by Mr. Monk's many phobias and compulsions. If you'd like to know more about how to design characters who are consistently funny, I suggest that you check out my video on the comic perspective. Cozies also have witty banter and situation-driven humor, where the sleuth gets into crazy situations due to her steadfast pursuit of this crime. As for level of humor, anything goes. You can go all the way from super goofy characters and slapstick situations to very elevated wordplay. The goofier your humor is, the less realistic we're going to expect the mystery, its solution, and the interactions of the characters to be. Cozies really run the gamut from very unrealistic and playful to very realistic and heartfelt. But again, on this side, not anything we would call gritty, still with that low level of violence. If all of this is making sense to you, please do me a favor and smash that like button, and then let's talk about the last aspect of cozies: the hook. When you're designing your cozy, you're going to want to settle on a hook. The central premise of most cozies is the same: a amateur solves a murder. And so the thing that separates your cozy from every other cozy on the shelf, at least to somebody who doesn't yet know your work, is the hook. Common cozy hooks include the sleuth's profession, which can be anything: Egyptologist, banker, lawyer. But common professions for cozy sleuths are bookseller and baker. The sleuth's hobby. A lot of cozy sleuths are knitters, seamstresses, and again, bakers, and they'll slip some pearls of crafty wisdom in among their investigations, which a lot of cozy readers really enjoy. And the time period or setting. Many cozies are historical mysteries, and in that case, the hook becomes the time period it's set or the part of the world it's in, or both. But don't let this list put your creativity in a box. Cozy sleuths roll with any kind of wonderful original hooks, like people who can hear the dead, or people who can jump into the pages of literary novels. So now that you know all the essential conventions of cozy mysteries, you have everything you need to start designing one that is original and uniquely your own. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, because I've got lots of great content coming up. Next week, I've got a collaboration with author Brittany Wang, for which I am so excited. We're going to be talking about our favorite books every writer has to read. And after that, we're going straight into how to brand your cozy mystery. Check out.